Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Last time on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, we had the sun, where Jotaro and the gang were caught by the sun stand, which was literally just a sun. This guy could just make a star, and it was putting a lot of pressure on them because they were, in this huge amount of heat. And then it seemed like Kakyoin, Polnareff, and Jotaro were all starting to lose it. They were being driven mad by the heat, and it seemed like it was up to Joseph to save the day. But then it turned out they weren't going mad. Jotaro threw a rock at the guy, and then it was over. So they hyped up what could have been one of the greatest fights Joseph Joestar has ever had on the show. But instead they threw a rock at a guy, and it ended in probably one of the most disappointing episodes of the entire show. But we're going to hope that things get a lot better from here. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. This is also where I say I'm blinking a lot. My eyes are getting tired for some reason. That's not good. I'm still recording today. Don't know what that was about. This is also where I say that if you want to watch my reaction to this episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, what you gotta do is head down in the description or to the pinned comment, click on the link. That will take you over to the reaction. You can watch it just like a normal reaction, and when you're done with that, you can pop right back over here to this YouTube video for the discussion. So with that being said, let's get right into this episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Here we go. Alrighty, that's a very interesting stand. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, if stands actually existed and I got a stand, I would hope it's not this stand, Like, there's a lot of stands where I'm like, oh man, I would not want that stand. But still, very creative, very interesting stand. Now, the whole thing of like, oh, it's a baby, and it's a baby that is a genius, and therefore his stand is, that powerful, like, he's that good with his stand, is kind of weird. But still very interesting. Like, I do like that, and hopefully we are, building up to something more interesting than the sun. But yeah, it's definitely one of those where it's like, yeah, if I had this stand, that would suck. Like, there's certain stands where it's like, if I had that stand, I would be alright. Like, the obvious ones are, Star Platinum, Hierophant Green, Silver Chariot, even Hermit Purple, or Magician's Red. It's like, if I had those stands, no, that'd be cool. But it's like, okay, if I had, like, the Emperor, it's like, I can just materialize a gun. What the hell am I going to use that for, Or, like, oh, I can attack people in their dreams. Why do I need that? I don't want that. It's like, I like all the other, I guess, more humanoid ones. All the more humanoid stands. It's like, no, I can find, like, a bunch of uses for that. Even, like, something like Justice. Like, I felt like that one. It's like, okay, yeah, if I had that, like, yeah, it's kind of specific, it's a bit more restricted than the normal humanoid ones, but I feel like I could figure something out with that, like, if just something to do with that stand. Here's a question. How did Dio find this baby? That would be my question. I mean, I guess we just have to assume that it was Enyaba, Enyaba was the one that found, she found all the stand users, and I guess technically she found the stand users and then sent them out to deal with the gang. Yeah, I guess so. It just seems so odd. It's like, oh, here's a baby that is, brilliant and has a stand, and it's like, well, wait, how did Dio find this baby? Or how did this baby find Dio? I don't know. But still very interesting. Also, big thing for this episode, it's a Kakyoin episode. We barely have Kakyoin episodes. Like, it's like Tower of Grey, it's like, okay, yeah, he defeated Tower of Grey and stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, like, there's some stuff, like, he's helped out, like, against the Hanged Man and stuff like that, or, what am I thinking of? Like, just recently. Well, the Lovers. Yeah. Yeah, because we had, like, he helped out with, like, the Hanged Man and stuff, and then the Lovers, he also helped out with the Lovers. So I guess that's it. But this isn't just a straight, like, no, this is Kakyoin all the way, basically. Even though, yeah, we had a bit of Polnareff in there. Polnareff, the biggest idiot in existence. My God, man. It's like, oh, you're having a dream about stand. No, I'm saying there's a stand in my dream. Yeah, that's what I mean. No, you idiot. Polnareff is so friggin' stupid. It sometimes hurts, honestly. But oh well. It's a Kakyoin episode. And a Kakyoin two-parter at that. So I'm glad for that. Because I was saying that like a couple episodes ago. It's like, man, we don't really get a lot of Kakyoin doing stuff. Like, he's just sort of support. He never really like takes on a stand anymore. But yeah, now, hey, we got one. It's pretty much Kakyoin on his own now. And hell, even he's not really by his side because he doesn't know. He can't remember anything outside of the dream, you know? Now, why he doesn't tell them about the writing on his arm, baby stand, I'm not sure. But maybe maybe he's just scared. But yeah, we can go into the notes on this one. First thing I wrote down, Death 13, which is pretty cool. Death 13. And yeah, it's like, I like this, like, okay, so, it's like, okay, this weird amusement park. I like because it's like, okay, Death, the Grim Reaper, but they don't go for just the normal, like, that skeleton with the hood and stuff like that. It's like, no, it's like, it's a mask with, like, all this stuff. Even the scythe looks pretty weird and stuff. Like, okay, that's really, really cool. I like the design of it. So, yeah. And it's like, okay, so we have the baby. That was interesting that, they faked the whole thing with the fever to get that baby on there. And it's like, oh my gosh. That was interesting. And then, yeah, it's like, oh, this baby, like, it ended up killing the dog. And it's like, God damn it. No dog is safe in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, And we joked about that with Justice when we saw the one dog, like, on a spike, basically, impaled on a spike. And it's like, oh, man, it's the calling card of Dio Brando. If there's a dead dog, Dio Brando or one of his minions is nearby. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And that was interesting. It's like, oh, well, the dog and I were clearly having the same dream. And then, it killed the dog. And it's like, what? What are you talking about? Like, why did it bring the dog into the dream? I don't get. Why didn't it bring all four of them in and then just kill them all? Like, all four of them were asleep. Bring all four of them into the dream, kill them because nothing's going to wake them up, and there you go. You're done. This baby's kind of stupid. Like, it may be a genius, but it's also not a great strategist, I guess. Because that's the thing, too, is that they can't summon their stands in dreams, which is interesting. They can't summon their stands, They tried Hierophant and Silver Chariot, but it just didn't work. So yeah, it's like, if they can't summon their stands, I mean, I don't know, maybe Joseph could use Hamon, but I don't think that would work or help, really. Like, I don't think that would work or help. So if they don't have their stands, line all four of them up in the same dream, boom, kill them, go get your reward from Dio. Like, don't take them on one at a time where they could easily be woken up, I don't know. And then, yeah, so they wake up and they forget, which is interesting. And then, yeah, we had Crash number 4 for Joseph Joestar. Which he tried. He almost made it, man. I love that he used Hermit Purple in order to pilot the plane. I thought that was really clever. And it's always interesting because it always kind of psychs me out because every time he starts to use Hermit Purple, it looks like he's just using Hamon, So I'm always like psyched out, like, oh, he's using oh wait, it's Hermit Purple. Okay, well that's kind of cool. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's like it always sort of psychs me out, but yeah, this is crash number 4 for Joseph Joestar. Now here's the thing, Jotaro gives him crap for the fact that he keeps getting into crashes, but let's really examine these crashes that Joseph Joestar has been in. The first one was, well, okay, the first one was kind of his fault. There were bandits trying to kill, or trying to, start some shit. They were basically holding Speedwagon at gunpoint, and Joseph had to, beat them, and he knocked one of them into the controls, so they had to jump. So that's one. The second plane crash was when he dive-bombed into cars to throw him into a volcano. That's not necessarily just like, oh, a crash. I mean, yeah, it's obviously crashing, but it's more of strategically trying to kill someone. It's like, it wasn't like, oh, well, he just crashed the plane. It's like, no, he crashed into cars to try to get him into the volcano. So that one wasn't really like a bad crash. He was, The third crash was earlier in Stardust Crusaders when, Tower of Grey basically took out, like, the pilots, and he had to, do a water landing. Again, not really his fault. This time kind of was his fault, I will admit, because he didn't see those palm trees, He didn't see those palm trees. But still, it was Kakyoin who, kicked him and, knocked them down. And while he did manage to get back, then he hit the palm trees because he didn't see them. So I just wanted to do a quick examination of all 4 of Joseph Joestar's crashes, because I feel like Jotaro gives him too much crap for that, But Jotaro kind of does that, and he's not technically wrong, He's not technically wrong, I guess. So, yeah. Let's see. There were the eyes. Ugh. That was just disgusting. Those eye sperm spider. Ugh. Basically choking him out so he won't, try to scream, basically. And I do like, it's like, okay, he has to get Kakyoin under control, because otherwise the plane will crash and it will kill him, too. So that was interesting. So that was kind of interesting. And then, when they said it's like, oh, to them, it'll just look like you died in your sleep. It's like, really? A 17-year-old buff as hell, fit guy is going to just randomly have a heart attack, and they're just going to be like, oh, it's just a heart attack. Oh, well. It's like, really? They're not going to start getting suspicious of stand activity? Okay. But yeah, so, and then the last thing I wrote down pretty much was baby stand. So he does, now it's interesting why he doesn't say anything, but I don't know. But he did write down baby stand. So it'll be interesting to see, like, where that goes. If the baby's going to specifically target Kakyoin now, to try to kill him first, or maybe he's going to try to go after one of the others, I mean, as long as they don't sleep, that's not a good plan. Aang tried that. It didn't work for him. But I don't know. They got to figure out some way. But it's really hard because you can't, like, unless you just kill the baby, it's not going to work, because you can't kill the stand if you don't have your stand. So, yeah. It's a tricky thing. It's a very tricky thing. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I'm sending a video to public right now, so sorry. Alright. It's My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 2. So, yeah. Because I'm recording on Thursday, actually. So, yeah. Anyway, not the point. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wrote down. Interesting episode. Great to have a Kakyoin episode. And also just an interesting stand. Hopefully it gets a decent resolution, unlike the resolution to the sun. So, yeah. That is pretty much it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.